And I have a few ideas. Okay, folks. And that leads us into segment 6. And segment 6 is called Uniting the Clans. Uniting the Clans. Everybody hates Joe Biden. And I don't know if you remember that, guys. Do you remember Braveheart? The movie Braveheart? Do you remember when Robert the Bruce, I mean, he betrays him, but that's not the point. He comes up to Mel Gibson's character and he goes, William Wallace, unite the clans. Unite the clans. He puts his big hairy hand out. Unite them. Or I think William Wallace does it to him, Robert, the guy with the big goatee, all right? Unite the clans. We need to unite the clans. We will never, ever win. All right? We will never, ever push back if we don't work together. We have to work together. White, black, red, yellow, purple, doesn't matter. If you believe what I believe, you are my brother, you are my sister, and we are in this fight together. We're in this fight together. And we have at least, we have something we can unite over besides all of those things that we have in common. We can unite over the fact that everybody hates Joe Biden. How about that? How about that? Everybody hates Joe Biden. What is it? 71 or 72% of the country? We'll get into that in a second. They believe that this country is going on a terrible, terrible roller coaster ride straight to hell. Plain and simple. Straight to hell. I want you to think about that for a second while I take a sip of this water. Straight to hell, folks. That is where this country is heading, according to the polls. But I think Joe Biden may be a little more aware of it than people think. I think Joe Biden knows what's going on. A lot of people think he has dementia, but maybe he doesn't have dementia. Maybe dementia is his escape plan. Maybe he's been charged by the group. Maybe the Democrats, the elites, the global reset folks, maybe the great reset, they've all gotten together and they said, Joe, you're old, you're on the way out, you're washed up, you're probably dying. Do this favor for us. Sacrifice yourself on the altar to Satan and destroy the United States of America. And then when it's all over and they try to prosecute you, just be like, I like children. They smell nice. And then boom, you don't go to jail. They're pretty lenient with former presidents. They really are. Look, everyone hates Joe. Everybody hates Joe. Let's start listing things. The border. Right? They just found 75 illegals in a refrigerated cart down there at the border. And don't worry, they'll get a lot of money. We'll talk about that in a second. There's plenty more. What was it? 17,000 Haitians came in. Something like 20 minutes a person to go through them. And they've all been released in the country. All of them. 1 million people plus. I think it's on schedule in the next couple months to be well over, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. Somebody let me know in the comment section below. I know I'm off. I didn't write it down, but I did read it earlier. They hate him. Afghanistan. How about Afghanistan? The 13 service members dead. The 9 children that they killed and then went on the news and said, oh, we had a drone strike. They took out ISIS-K. You took out ISIS-K. You took out ISIS kindergarten. You took out the kids. You killed children, Joe Biden. When are you going to be held accountable? Afghanistan. I was on LinkedIn before I did this podcast, and there are videos on LinkedIn from professionals in LinkedIn sneaking photos of the Taliban burning all of the books in every professional building they go to, in every home they go to. They're burning books. I saw the videos on LinkedIn, guys. On LinkedIn of all. Who would have thunk? Oh, I think I'm going to go on LinkedIn. Maybe I'll get a good recommendation for that job I want. And also I can see a horrifying video of the Taliban burning books. What is this world coming to? He's actually racist. Joe Biden's actually racist. Joe Biden was buddy-buddy with that grand wizard fellow. Joe Biden actually makes up stories. You remember Corn Pop? Corn Pop, he was a bad dude. Do you remember Joe Biden talking about the kids? They want to touch my hairy legs. I love the black kids. You ain't black. You ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden. What the hell do you know about being black, Joe? Hell, I don't know much about being black, Joe, but I grew up in some pretty interesting areas. So I kind of learned some of the culture. I kind of learned some of the culture. I enjoy the culture. I enjoy the food. There's a lot of rap songs I listen to. And there's a lot of rap songs you might listen to. Maybe you don't. But just because we don't listen to the same music doesn't mean we can't fight on the same team. Doesn't mean we can't believe in freedom. Doesn't mean I can't come out of my house, smile and wave to Ice Cube and go back in my house and eat a meatloaf, and he can go back in his house and eat whatever he's eating and listen to whatever music he lives. Why can't we be neighbors? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Oh, because Hunter Biden is painting pictures and making $500,000. That's why we can't be friends. Oh, because him and the president of the United States share a bank account. They share a bank account. You hear me almost slip on F-bomb number 2? Didn't even get number 1 out. I just went twice in this show. FCC approved, baby. Listen. We've got a Biden crime family. His brother with all the real estate in Iraq, right? Millions of dollars worth of contracts. Hunter selling his father to business people all over the world, but mainly China and the Ukraine, for favors. Sharing the money. The laptop from hell. The laptops. How many laptops? How much crack must you do? How much Parmesan cheese must you snort? Huh? How many paper, like, you know, the hole puncher, the 3-hole puncher, you know how sometimes those holes get on the floor, right? When you're at the office, or you hold that, you know, those 3-hole punchers, you hold them the wrong way and all the little dots fall out everywhere and you're just picking them up off the floor. Hunter Biden would go, ah! And he'd dive on the floor. He'd start going nuts. He'd start going nuts thinking that's cracked. He lost 3 laptops. I saw pictures from those laptops, pictures of him with his brother's widow. I saw pictures of him with somebody that looked very much like Obama's daughter, with a very convincing credit card, with a very convincing name on it. I saw pictures from that laptop that has been verified. I saw them before they all disappeared off the internet, and many of you did too. If you didn't, let me know. I can still get some. Trust me, I've got some hidden. I saved them before they got rid of them from the recesses of the web. Trust me. He's a liar. Joe's a liar. He lies. He got caught lying so many times over the decades. He had to drop out of a presidential election decades ago for lying. And you think he's not lying now? You think he's not full of it now? You think he doesn't have the ability to lie, to pretend that he's dumb? He played dumb the entire election back in 2020, you know, leading up to it, leading up to 2020. He played dumb the entire time. He played dumb. He hid in the basement, and he made you think he was an imbecile. But maybe, just maybe, he's not an imbecile. I mean, we know he's an idiot. But maybe, just maybe, he's just a rich con artist who is smart because he's pretending to be stupid. Maybe that's what's happening. He apologized at the G20. He literally apologized to the world at Glasgow, where they're pretending like the climate's falling apart. He apologized for Trump leaving the climate accords, that thing that was making us broke. Even though we rejoined and now we're going broke again. He was caught sleeping in Glasgow at the G20. He was literally... They covered for him, though. They didn't lie. They didn't say he wasn't sleeping. They just said he didn't... or they just said he had a very busy schedule. Well, you know, Joe Biden's in bed with his sippy cup by 6 p.m. and his little, I bet you know, you ever see those cartoons and the old man had like the David the Gnome hat on that was like draped down. It's like a nightcap with like a Santa Claus thing at the end of it. I bet he goes to sleep with one of those. Jill, can I have a nice cup of hot cocoa and a scoop of chocolate ice cream? Because you know, super old people only eat 1 scoop of chocolate ice cream. He's an East Coaster, so there may be a fortune cookie in it. You know what I'm talking about if you're on the East Coast. Listen, he doesn't hide his puppet strings. He doesn't. Look, I got this right here. All right, this is from the G20 summit. He literally said a bunch of crap about climate change, blah, 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 Greta Thunberg, blah, 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 the world is falling apart, blah, 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 global warming, blah, 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 blah. We have to make everybody convinced that there's no genders anymore so we can save the planet from a fireball, whatever made up story he's come up with. But after that, when he addressed the what do you call it? God, I told you, I sometimes have a brain fart. I'm having a brain fart right now. The media, the paparazzi, there we go. Those folks with the cameras. That's what I'm just going to call those people out there holding those machines that capture the devil box that captures your image. Those folks. He said, I'm happy to take some questions. And I'm told I should start with this guy from the AP, Zeke Miller. He literally is just reading the card. He was told to start with this person. Even a couple months ago when he was dealing with Putin, he said, I'll take your questions. And as usual, they gave me a list of people that I'm going to call on. A list for the president, a list for him to call on. He can't even remember his own name. His dog, I'm not talking about Greggy. I'm not talking about Saki's dog. I'm talking about Joe Biden's dog. He couldn't even remember how many times that dog bit people. You don't even hear about his dogs anymore. For all we know, because he's this type of person, I bet you, they could have euthanized Major at this point. They probably killed that German Shepherd. He's probably mounted on the wall, and he just made a $10,000 donation to PETA or whatever, and they leave him alone. Joe Biden is a bad person. He's actually racist. He actually has a crime family. He's an actual liar. He botched Afghanistan. He botched the borders. He botched infrastructure. He botched energy. He botched everything. He botched everything. So, is it dementia? Is it intentional? I tend to think it's intentional. Some people think it's dementia. Here's some signs. Anger is a sign of dementia. Come on, man. He gets mad at people. He does. He's always tired. Falling asleep at the G20. Falling asleep everywhere. Confused. What do you mean? They never said that. General Milley never, ever said that we shouldn't withdraw. All these people, they didn't give me any of that advice. Come on, man. Not saying General Milley's smart. But the general's secretary of defense, all these people did throw him under the bus when they did the Afghanistan stuff in Congress. Again, was it Congress? Was it Senate? I think it was the Senate. But nobody did anything about it. No accountability. Nothing happens whatsoever. 2022 comes around, we'll impeach the guy. But until then, nothing. Irrational decision making. That is another sign. That's another sign of dementia. Again, though, this guy's been a politician for 50 plus years. He's a great actor. Irrational decision making. Like what? Joe? Like giving illegal immigrants $450,000? I'll say it again. Like giving illegal immigrants $450,000? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Joe? Not new illegals. I'm not talking about the 15,000 Haitians that jumped in. I'm not talking about all of these different people. No, I'm talking about the hush money for the blue votes. I'm talking about the illegals that came in during the Trump administration that were penalized under Trump's policies. He has money for them. Money to make sure that they vote Democrat for the rest of their lives. All right? 450,000. It says here, he wants to give 450,000 to each border crosser subjugated to former President Trump's zero tolerance policy. All right. It says that in some instances, right, a family unit of illegals, they could secure over $1 million from the payout. And these payouts would cost you and me, American taxpayers, over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. Now, this article has a couple other great things. I want to list a thing or two. It says as of December 2020, $7.76 billion has been awarded to more than 34,400 9/11 victims. All right. On average, each 9/11 victim, their family, they received $225,000. All right. Now, that is 20 years after 9/11. And they received half of what he's planning on giving illegal immigrants. It's absolutely outrageous. It's sickening. It's disrespectful and disgusting. Absolutely disrespectful and disgusting to you, to me, and you should be highly offended because that is literally the government reaching into your pocketbook to take your money and give it to people who don't deserve it. Who else could use the money? How about homeless veterans? Does anyone care about them anymore? Everyone seems to care about the homeless Antifa people burning down cities. No one cares about the homeless veterans. People bail those Antifa folks out of jail, but nothing for the homeless veterans. What about abused girls, abused mothers in shelters? They could use some money. No help for them. How about the black community? How about somebody give Ice Cube some money for that platinum plan he had, to where he was going to actually inject some real money and some real opportunities into the black communities and start turning things around for those underprivileged folks that are stuck at the bottom rungs? How about that? But no, the money doesn't go to that. The money goes to illegals to make sure that people like Joe Biden get to run this country forever. And it makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. Plain and simple. So Joe doesn't remember. He doesn't. Or does he? He's scratching his head. He was asked about it. All right. Peter Doocy. All right. They flew his butt to Glasgow. All right. They flew his butt to Glasgow and had him ask Joe Biden at the climate summit why he's paying $450,000, why he's planning on doing that when we're in such an economic crisis, while everything's falling apart, while all of us are going broke, while gas is shooting through the roof and we can't feed our families. Why in the blue holy hell are you planning on spending even more money, and money on them, money on illegal immigrants? I know the left thinks that every person's, we need to save everything. Everybody, we have to be super motherly and empowering to everybody and enable everybody to be a supreme screw up. That's what we got to do because we're the left. You know what Biden did? He ignored the question. He scratched his head and went, next question. So why can't he remember? Why can't he remember? I think he can remember. I think he's playing stupid, folks. I think he's pretending, so that if he's successful and he sets the bomb and blows up this country, he can literally pretend like he's literally missing some brain cells and ride off into the senile sunset where he can live in riches for the last few short years of his life if he doesn't, collapse during this presidency. Either way, like I said earlier, 71% of the country thinks Biden is wrong. 71% believes this country is on the wrong tracks. All right. It says 71% of Americans believe America is on the wrong track. It says that the president is sitting right now. All right. And this is Monday night, sitting right now at 42% approval and 54% disapproval. All right. He was positive just 2 months ago. What's that mean? That means that in the last 2 months, especially since this Loudoun County parent stuff has come out, people across the country are waking up. They're waking up in droves. They're waking up more than they ever thought they would. And they're being loud. They're being proud. They're rattling the walls. They're screaming at the top of their lungs for the conservatives, for the right, for parents who care about their children, for parents, for people, for patriots who care about their country. No justice, no peace. That's right, folks. We're actually starting to win. People are waking up. People are waking up. So I'll say it again. I'll say it again, and I'll say it with an even thicker Shrek accent. Unite the clans! Come on, unite the clans, donkey. Unite the clans. We have to. I keep saying unite the clans. I keep making that Braveheart reference because isn't that what we are? First off, isn't each state its own clan, its own culture, its own melting pot? And aren't each people, each community, each color, don't they have their own culture, their own something special about them? Why are we letting the left destroy that? Why are we letting these liberals, these neo-Marxists, these progressives, why are we letting them take our communities and flush them down the toilet? Why are we, the adults, the responsible adults, why are we letting the children run the asylum? Why are we letting the insane people run the asylum? The children run the circus, the fleas run the circus. However the expression goes, we are adults. We run the show. We have been charged with the honor of saving the country we love, because without a country, we don't have a home. All right? This is our home. This is our home. And Joe Biden is literally opening the front door, letting burglars in our home to steal all of our stuff, letting bad people in to hurt our children, rape our family, steal our food, and shoot us right in the head. That is literally the analogy for what he is doing. He is doing this to the American family. He is doing this to the American child. He is doing this to the American patriot and to the American parent. And enough is enough. Remember our core values. Remember the white community, the black community, the Asian community, all of the communities of people who love this country, people who work hard, people who want their families to succeed, who love God. We share core values. We love our freedom. We want to live in peace. We want minimal taxes. We want to make our money. We want to build on our property. We want to raise our kids and do whatever we want. And we don't want the government telling us what we can do. So let's get together and unite. The world is only getting crazier, but people are waking up.